Out in the street, they call it murder. They call it murder.
All right, and we're back.
What up? I to all my my fellow uh loyal Americans. I know it's tough that Kanye had to concede, but we'll try again in 4 years.
Yeah, I mean that's the big news from the night. Kanye
Yeah,
conceded, gave up that good fight.
it's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there next time. The country just wasn't ready for
Yep.
a far right insurgency.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there. Nah, man, lots of goings on, right? Like my uh, it's conflicted, right? Like how do you feel? Like I'm just fucking sick of Trump right now. Like he's got
Well,
big
I'm
loser
not.
energy.
Well, yeah.
You
For me,
know,
first of all, there's that. He's not really handling his defeat with any kind of grace.
yeah.
If you want to go ahead and say it that way, but okay. So
Well, like
let's
I don't know though,
backtrack.
man. He's handling it better than I thought, right?
I don't think
And
so.
and
He's handling about as well as I thought. I mean, what were you thinking that he was gonna do? Go
I thought
and
he
take a
would have.
dump on the Capitol lawn or something?
No, I mean I thought he would have like had I thought he would have um like brought in troops and
Well, I mean, there's still
had the
time for
count
that.
forcibly stopped and shit like that. Like I thought he would have already activated pulled the trigger on escalation.
Bro,
Right?
there's still time. The election is young. Things haven't even gone official yet. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. So
He's not going out like Stan Chera though, is he? That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, I have no idea how he's gonna go out. I mean, for all we know right now, I mean, well, first of all, we should backtrack. Let's get back to the
let's
night.
fill in
Let's
where
go.
we're at.
Let's go back to the night before the election when we were trying to figure out what exactly was gonna go down. So, we had gone through a couple of scenarios. We played through a few. I thought we did a pretty good job on that. So, shot that we tried, we went with this one. We went off the polling. We made a little bit of adjustments, and we came up with this map, which would have had Biden at 299, and Trump winning Trump going to 239, which we had Florida off, but we were trying to figure out between.
Is Florida done though? Everything's counted in
Florida's
Florida?
done. Florida, they did the counting earlier. Yo, what's up, Ejecto?
And they got
so that was
all
good.
of them.
Yeah, so Florida is done. So I forgot who said it in the chat, but yeah, they're probably right to say Pennsylvania had a better shot to go for Biden than the other way around. But we went with this one just off of an estimation, just because
I just thought the seniors were disappointed in their man.
I thought the seniors were turning towards Biden according to the polling, which was completely fucking off. But due to that, we did do a second map, and we said, Biden still does have a shot for PA. We'll just go bring this up.
PA's almost done. We should get the final PA results on the stream.
We're gonna go to those right now. He does have a decent shot at winning this one at winning PA. But we came up with this second map, and for a good while, this one looked like it was spot the fuck on. And for all we know, it might still be. For all we know, it might still be. There is a shot that he'll overtake PA. The surprise was that Biden has a shot to overtake Trump in Georgia. Now that one we didn't account for. We thought that there might be a shot at it, but we also anticipated the polling being completely off, and we were really one of the only people that took that into consideration with their predictions. I know Kyle out there put out a 351 map. You know, it had David Dole around the same range. You know, TYT. I mean, Jank was completely off. Talking about
What did Jank say?
Jank thought it was gonna be a blowout, like 350 something, like ridiculous. I think he was even higher than Kyle. But
Poor
they went off
Kyle.
the polling. They went off the polling. Like they went straight off the polling, and they thought, all right, they're not gonna be that wrong again. And they were. They were off spectacularly. They were off really, really badly. The only thing that I think Kyle got really on point was the same thing that we said, which was, well, there's gonna be a red mirage. We're gonna go
Yeah.
into the night, and by the end of it, it's gonna look like Trump's winning. He's gonna declare a win, and then the next morning or over the next morning, the mail-in votes are gonna come in, and that's what happened. So when we signed off, that was the situation that we were dealing with. We were dealing with the whole of the Rust Belt still in the Trump column, firmly in the Trump column, by the way, because at one point PA was 13 points up for Trump. I know Michigan was at least double digits up for Trump.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin was
So
the only one that was
Wisconsin.
close. It was like 4 points. With Wisconsin, they saved Milwaukee, the Milwaukee absentee ballots, until about like 5:30 over here in the morning. That was about 7:30 on the East Coast. And
Yeah.
then they started bringing them in, and I stayed up with it. Staying up for updating the
The
feed.
states with Republican legislatures,
Yeah.
they counted the votes strategically
So-
to create the red mirage.
Right. So the red mirage came through like that, and the Milwaukee votes came through, and then by that time, Biden had overtaken Trump by the morning. Michigan was a little bit later on in the day. Though the big holdout right now that everybody's waiting on is Nevada. So this was our map. Let's go to the AP's map. So the AP right now is at 264, 214, with the only holdout here being Nevada that would give Biden the win. If the rest of these do remain red, then yeah, we'll be spot on with our predictions, Matt. We would have nailed it.
Wait a minute. So if Nevada goes to Trump,
Nevada
if
goes
Nevada, if the
Nevada
rest
goes
of
to
those
Trump,
states,
stay red, and then Biden gets Nevada, then our map is pretty spot on, like exactly.
so Biden needs to win one of them, but Trump has to win all of them.
Yeah, basically that's what we're looking at. But we'll play through this scenario too, because I had considered this here. If Nevada does swing red, because it is closer than the other states. So let's move us out the way here, people, so you can see what we're talking about. So if Nevada does swing red, because that is within 1%, and then if we go and have Georgia flip, that would also likewise give Biden the win, even if PA falls short here, right? So there we go. So Georgia alone will be able to go ahead and win the election for Mr.
Yeah.
Biden over there.
Isn't he's at 264? So he just needs one more, right?
Right, he's at 264. If he wins if he wins anything, he's also within 1% in North Carolina. They're giving Trump an 85% shot at winning North Carolina. They're giving Biden a 65% shot at winning in Georgia. So that is the open question, people. We are waiting.
They're giving
to
Biden
hear.
a 65% chance to win Georgia.
They're giving him a 65% chance to win Georgia. So right now, Nevada is the open state. North Carolina, likewise, is open as of right now. They have been at 99%. There's no real update that we can give you from there. See, Nevada, Joe Biden by 1 point, 75% of the expected vote in. There we go. North Carolina, 94% of that shit has not moved from last night. I've been keeping my eye on it. 1 point in Georgia, 98%. This actually did move at last night. It was at 90, 92%, 94%, and then Biden was trailing by 3 points. So
Yeah, Nevada's not coming out till tomorrow morning.
yeah, so we did get an update from these Nevada people. They were saying that exactly that, Matt, that they're not gonna be releasing details. They have everybody kind of waiting on their dumbasses to come out with the numbers. We do have some footage from Nevada that them counting the votes. So let's see if I can go ahead and pull that up. Sorry, Matt. There we go. There they are. Voters being counted in Nevada right now. Yeah.
Elko. um,
Yeah. So let's see. The fact that Trump sued Georgia leads me to believe Biden has a huge shot at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's exactly the case right now. You don't sue unless you're looking like you're gonna lose. That is exactly the situation. He was trying to sue in Pennsylvania as well. We will go to an update there from Pennsylvania. Actually, let's see. There was one from Michigan that was a response to Trump's threats because he has been going off as predictably. I mean, predictably, he has been going off. So, he like we said, he has not been handling things pretty well. But let's go to this thing from MSNBC. Sorry, but yeah, Rashida went ahead and retweeted it. So thought that'd be something good to go ahead and put up there.
Election workers tabulate every vote.
Just so folks understand, and I believe this is the odd part of reporting these matters in 2020, but just doing my job here. When a sitting president says he, quote, hereby claims Michigan in the eventuality of some belief, does that have any significance whatsoever to who wins Michigan? Your response?
It does not, because candidates don't declare and decide who wins elections. Voters do. Election workers tabulate every vote. That's what decides who wins or loses an election. That's how democracy works. And that's exactly the process we're following here in Michigan. It's a process I'm proud of. It's a process I stand by. And it's a process that a number of citizens and millions of voters all across the state have placed their faith in by casting their ballots on time. And we'll work to ensure, again, that every valid vote is counted.
Just so.
So, yeah, he's predictably gone about trying to figure a way to still hold on to this thing, and it doesn't look good for him. It doesn't. So we're going to go to Jim Acosta here, who was covering some of the inner workings of the Trump campaign, where apparently he's given up on he ordered a recount almost immediately after after Biden was declared the winner in Wisconsin. So this is what Jim Acosta has for us from here. So.
Yeah, Jake, talking to my sources inside the Trump campaign, they are starting to sound increasingly pessimistic about the president's chances. I mean, outwardly, they're saying we're going to win Pennsylvania. In fact, you have the president's son, Eric Trump, and the White House press secretary on her personal account declaring victory in Pennsylvania. Obviously, that has not occurred. That is misinformation. But that is the mindset outwardly from the Trump campaign. Inside, though, I've talked to a Trump campaign advisor in just the last several minutes. They are pinning their hopes, I'm told at this point, on Arizona. They would like to see Arizona flip back to Donald Trump. Of course, here at CNN, we haven't called Arizona for Joe Biden. Other outlets have. Of course, they've been fixated on that for hours now, almost a day now since that occurred last night with other outlets. One advisor I spoke with about Arizona described that state as the OK Corral, a reference to the infamous gun battle in the Old West in that state back in the 19th century. And so, at this point, what can the Trump campaign do? They can launch legal challenges. They're trying to take Pennsylvania to the Supreme Court over its counting of mail-in ballots after Election Day. They're talking about a lawsuit in Michigan to try to halt the balloting there because they say they don't have sufficient access to observe the ballot counting process. I talked to a couple of Trump campaign advisors about Wisconsin. And the Trump campaign saying earlier today that they would like to see a recount in Wisconsin. The campaign sounds like, Jake, they're already giving up on that option. Two Trump campaign advisors tell me that recount is not likely to pan out for the president. There just aren't enough votes available in a recount process that would swing back to President Trump. And so it sounds like, Jake, that this map is shrinking for Donald Trump. He is running out of space on the map to somehow pull this out, Jake.
Right. So let's go back to, hold on, everybody. Let's go back to that map from before. So according to
what's up with this spiritual Dr. Paula White? Or
Yeah.
Shit Doctor. Let's watch that shit later.
Yeah, we'll go to and pull that up in a little bit, but let's go back to this map. So what they're talking about is flipping Arizona. So if they flip Arizona and they get Nevada, if Biden gets Georgia based on this map, it would be at 269, and then North Carolina to Biden or to Trump, and we would end up with a 269 map.
Ooh, so
Just
we
in-
can get the tie?
Yeah, we
Wait a
still-
minute, so
we-
if Biden gets Georgia and Trump gets the rest of them?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Dude.
Right.
What would Soros do in that situation?
I mean, okay. Well, you were tweeting all day about this is the perfect race for capital
I mean, yeah, right?
because
This is what they want. Man, they
Right.
fucking love the gridlock.
they love the
Because the
gridlock.
shit
That
is
would be
set for
the
them
ultimate
now.
set of
Yeah.
gridlock.
Yeah, they have everything they want. They could ever dream of right now.
So if we
Right,
could
so
go to
They
this.
don't want anything to change.
Right. So I'm gonna pull this up from Jim Clyburn. Clyburn warned a socialist will cause down ballot carnage for Democrats. Oh yeah, Basic PJ,
What
we
up,
are
PJ?
definitely enjoying the circus right now.
Wait, when was that comment from?
That was from February 28th, 2020, talking about Biden and Bernie. And one of the biggest things that happened last night, other than this crazy ass presidential election, was the Democrats really fell on their face, fell on their ass when it came to the down ballot races. The Senate was not a good night for them. So they the Democrats and the Republicans came away even on that night. It was 47-47, I think, is the way that the race panned out for them. Let me actually pull that up too,
Do we have any live coverage of Arizona right now?
I
wanna see.
I can see if I could pull that up too. But here's the Senate map right now. So here we go. Battle for control of the Senate. 47 Democrats coming back, 48 Republicans. Yeah, and it was a good chance for the Democrats to take control, and we had it was one of those centrist picks in Maine that was supposed to unseat Susan Collins, and she ended up losing. And despite all the polls having her up, she lost pretty handily. Amy McGrath, of course, fell on her face. Bloodbath McGrath did not pull it off.
What was that figure? They spent like
$300 million.
$200 million.
Yeah, it was
on-
$300 million across 3 races against Lindsey Graham, Susan Collins, and then Mitch McConnell, right? So
Yeah.
and let's see, Chud's getting angsty in Arizona right now. So
Did
let's
you see what else though? They they had Marquita Bradshaw, who had like no money at all.
Right, yeah.
She got 2 points worse than Bloodbath.
Oh yeah,
So-
I saw that. I did. I was hoping Bradshaw would end up with a little bit of a better showing than she did. I mean, she still did very well for the situation that she's in. She had no real media attention on her, nothing like that. It was just her and her policy standing against a Republican senator in frickin' Tennessee. So, considering that, if that's what they're wanting to give progressives a shot in, or those are the type of races that they're trying to give us a shot in, I'll take it. Well, eventually, I think the
had no
policies will
choice.
still win out. So, but let's go to Arizona Capitol in Phoenix and see what the Chuds are doing.
That's funny, PJ. Like, they're counting. I mean, they're chanting like, "Here's shame on Fox."
So they're chanting over there, "Shame on Fox," because Fox declared Arizona pretty early on in the day for Biden. We can go to the AP map again and see if we can do that.
It looks like.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'd say for 80% chance, I think, is what the odds are right now, right?
Right.
On Biden.
You're talking
So
about
there's
overall.
5 states. I'm talking to the Doritos guy.
Oh, the Doritos. So
There's like 5 states left, and Biden has to win basically one of them, but Trump
Right.
has to win all of them.
Yeah, so this is the
So-
AP map. The AP map has already awarded Arizona to Biden. CNN
Why did they
hasn't.
do it? Why did Fox News do it?
Fox News did it. I don't know exactly why, what their reasoning was in doing so, but they did, and the chuds had a fucking fit over it. Which, I mean, what are you gonna do? What you're gonna tell your people that he's up or give validity to him going out there and declaring victory last night? And we got to see that on the streams, which was nice. But yeah, I mean, going into it, look, this is the percentages right now. We know that. Yeah, let's see. What exactly with Fox and the election desk guy? Yeah, so the election desk guy, yeah, I mean, they were catching these aren't like the commentators. These are like the straight news guys that were out there trying to give some kind of validity to Trump's rantings about being able to, having won the race and declaring victory and all that shit. But you can see from here, from the race in Arizona, yeah, I mean, he's behind by a pretty comfy margin now, and it's most of the vote is in. Yeah, you can expect maybe this to narrow at all, but it's not going to be enough for the race to swing back or for the AP to recant what they declared already. So,
I mean, there's a lot of there's the ratio of Democrat to Republican mail-in ballots is a little bit more even there.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, that's one thing, but yeah, it's unlikely he's going to overtake that lead.
So, and then there was there's a little bit of a controversy that broke out too in Arizona with what they're calling Sharpie Gate. That MAGA voters in Arizona were tricked into using Sharpies to have their votes invalidated, but the election officials say that there's no problem with reading or counting those ballots. So the MAGA judges were out there already starting a shit fit about their votes were invalidated. They gave us Sharpies to fill out our ballots, and now they did that to trick us and all this other kind of bullshit. And
Twitter was censoring it too.
Yeah. So what the truth of it was is there's no issue with them filling out their ballots with Sharpies. So
PJ, I think there was an article in Politico. I'm trying to find it. That said it was about the decision to call the race. That's what I'm looking at, because it's weird to me that just them and AP did it, and nobody else will do it.
Yep. Says
I feel like
Politics
it's
USA,
personal.
Fox News projected, Joe Biden will win Arizona, and that caused the whole shit fit.
I don't see the article now.
Let's see. We
But
can go.
there's
We
still-
got Jim Acosta there. And as of an hour ago in Georgia, just to go to that update really fast, Trump is only up by 26,000 votes as of now, and they're counting Fulton County. That's around Atlanta, right?
Yeah, Fulton County is Atlanta.
Yeah, Fulton County is Atlanta, and it looks like there's still plenty of votes out there to be counted that will be able to swing the race or continue to push the race toward Joe Biden. So, yeah, it's going to be tough trying to find votes for him out there in the middle of it. If actually here, it will go to David Pacman's tweet because he has a map
point,
here. So
yeah, it's going to take some fucking supreme fuckery for.
So right here, 97% reporting. Biden is right on his heels. It's not looking like that is a safe win for him at all.
Yeah. I think it's like 30, like less than 30,000 was the margin last I heard. But it's going to be close, man. That one's going to be real close.
Yep. And we do have more. Let's see. We can go to. It was a pretty strange dichotomy because you had the people in Arizona that were going off telling the poll workers that they want them to keep counting the votes, and then they had people, I think it was in Pennsylvania, that they want them to stop counting the votes. So actually, let's go to this one. So this was the scene. It was in Michigan. So in Michigan, these are all MAGA chuds. So in Maricopa County, that's around Phoenix, and then Detroit. This was the scene. So yeah, there's
Did somebody do a mashup?
yeah, they did a mashup. They did a mashup, and it looks like it looks like they're not really on the same page in terms of whether they want to keep voting or keep counting, not counting.
It depends on where the state is, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Yeah.
if it favors their candidate, then they're fine with the counting. If not, then they turn. Yeah, I guess they turn against counting. So we do have a little bit of we have a reaction from one of the poll workers there, though, from this video. There he is. Yep, he's feeling pretty shamed right now.
What?
Yeah, you can see right here.
Fucking nerd.
Yep. Yep. I mean, the poll workers over there are sounding pretty
Maybe he was
victimized
in
at the moment.
sleep. I'm trying to find that article.
And well,
see.
and I do actually. Let me go to one more reaction. This is in Nevada. They're still counting, like we said. They're not gonna announce this until tomorrow, until Thursday, right? Until Thursday afternoon, I think is what they said. That's gonna be
Thursday.
the deal. We're gonna be waiting on them, but this was the scene out there in Nevada.
As I mentioned, we are not prepared to give that number.
The Biden crime family stealing the election. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering up. The Biden crime family stealing this election. The media is covering up. We want our freedom for the world.
Yes.
Give us our freedom, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is covering up this election. He's stealing it.
Oh, they're gonna be so mad. Oh God.
Where were we? What was the last question?
Yeah. Do you want to
Dude,
bet
they're
that?
gonna be so mad.
All right. How about
Phil was right. There's
in the-
gonna be a civil war.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
okay.
gonna be so pissed.
What do y'all think in the chat? Do you think that guy owns a gun?
110%, man.
Yeah, that dude probably definitely owns a gun. He will not be alone on the streets when it comes to what is to come. Let's see if we can go a little bit more to Arizona again, because this is just brutal.
Wait a minute. Let's read this article.
All right, let me just play this one out.
Aren't you guys supposed to be working? Why are you out here? Go work.
Whoa, get in here, get your ass inside and count my motherfucking votes.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like I expected them to react worse than that. I think it's still early. We can expect the reactions to get worse, and likely more violent once the reality of Trump losing sets in with everybody. And yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because let's just be. Yeah, it's shock and denial right now is exactly right.
They're gonna be furious, man.
But once the reality of it sets in, I mean, who's to say what's going to happen or what exactly they're going to do? Especially, because the question I keep getting from family members and people wanting to know, my friends too, about what they want to know is, what are they going to do if he decides he doesn't want to go? If he decides he's not leaving, he's not accepting court rulings, he's not accepting counts, he's going to insist that it was stolen.
The Senate, the Republicans won't go for that, though. Like, that would work if he had Mitch McConnell and all those guys on his ass.
Right, and they are already
they're
kind
not
of
saying anything,
yeah.
right?
Privately, they're
So-
already distancing themselves a little bit.
Yeah, they're done with him, man. They don't want him.
They got their Supreme Court pick. They got their tax cuts for the wealthy. They're pretty much done with him at this point.
They want the gridlock. That's what they want. Like I said
Yeah.
in that tweet, man, this is the perfect outcome. This is exactly what they want. because it just has the Senate stays with them. Like Biden might squeak by, and he has a bunch of people pissed off and confrontational and ready to like get on anything he does. And then the Democrats in the House, but we got Pelosi with her iron fist ready to keep anything from happening there. And then the courts, in case they have to get to that backstop, right? Fucking, the ruling class is set, dude. They have what they need for a long time, and it's going to be very hard to try to chip away at that. Like, it's dark, man. I don't know what to say. Like,
Yep.
there's
But one thing, or the Secret Service has been pretty open about how they hate him, which is unusual. So no need to worry about him physically staying in the White House. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Regardless of whether about that, though, I mean, it is going to be interesting to see what it comes to if he never concedes, never decides he's not going to leave. If there's an incident where they have to bring him out, if how his supporters will react to that, to seeing him dragged out, if he just digs his heels in, or they change the locks while he's out of the house. I mean, I don't know.
What if they like gas him? Like they like shoot like smoke bombs into the West Wing or whatever,
Right, so
and then
Republicans hold the Senate, shoot up, lead in the Dem House. That was a bad election if you're progressive and do electoral, as there were some losses. Well, like for the progressive wing of things,
Lindsey Graham, dude.
Yeah.
He's gloating and shit already.
yeah, of
Like
course
I
he
said,
is.
man, this is exactly what Capitol wants. They have their
Right.
their A team of like crypt keepers and like perverts in the Senate to like clamp down anything Biden wants to do. Like he's not even going to be able to pass a stimulus bill, man. This and it's like comes back to the central problem of why everything sucks, right? Because they have to. The Lincoln Project Democrat Party is not.
It was a
getting
terrible,
any kind of popular
the
support.
the Dem
Yeah,
they put
DSA
it.
candidates did great.
Yeah, the DSA candidates, we did great. Just as
19 out of 23.
just as Democrats, we cleaned up. We're good. As far as
26 of 30.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we did very well. Unfortunately, the candidate for mayor that I was supporting here in El Paso did not pull it out. So that was
Yeah,
one.
Vera lost.
That was
Sucks.
she did have a strong showing, though, much stronger than anybody really thought she was gonna have going in. But regardless of that, progressives across the country did very, very well.
Yeah, because good shit is popular.
Yes,
Like
good shit
neoliberalism,
is popular.
Joe Biden's his platform's not popular. It's not motivating anybody.
No,
and they're
it's
not
not.
convincing. They have this razor thin margin of like the vestiges of their traditional base like sticking around, and that's what carried him over. Like it looked like the cities with active union presence were a huge part of him taking back the Midwest.
Well, and I know
the only
didn't Rashida do
places-
some outreach for him in Michigan too? So I mean, shit,
Yeah.
if that's the case with Rashida going and doing some work for Biden to get elected, that's who you gotta go ahead and thank, especially in a state that the whole of your presidency hinges on right now.
Yeah, well, they didn't run any ground game. There was
No.
no ground game.
No,
So the
there
only
was-
states
and
that
no-
had ground game
no.
were the ones that was run by the
Right.
unions and the DSA and
So-
other progressive groups.
Right. So why don't we talk about what did Biden do, or where did the support come from Biden to be able to beat Trump?
What?
Right. We talked about this a little bit last night, right? Where was Biden able to do a better job with peeling away Trump's support?
Yeah. There was no big moment last night. Wait, what'd you say?
That
Sorry, I
where
was reading PJ's question.
yeah, no, where did Biden draw support from Trump that he was able to win?
He won back the Midwest, right?
Mhm.
Like, I think
But
a
in
lot
terms
of
of
that had.
but in terms of ground game, now he was able to win over white male voters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's where he was able to pull away support from before.
Yeah,
And
I don't
at-
know how he got so fucking like how. That's not good, man.
No, and
Like,
the other part of it is he sacrificed a lot of his base support, especially in the Black and Latino community.
yeah.
And right now he is hoping to hold on to Nevada, where there is a large Latino population. and the
Well,
support
like-
just hasn't been there. And if you look in Texas, especially, the numbers fell off the fucking map
Yeah.
in a big way.
The
Well, let me go to this really
that
fast here, man.
comment though, from what it looks like though, that blue wave from 2018,
Right.
you know, like that suburban shift that they
Yeah.
were banking on, wasn't actually as strong a coalition as they thought it was, right? Like, it's barely going to get them over there,
They-
and it's like
they
that's the
figured they
enthusiasm
had-
gap,
They-
right?
You know, they figured they had people of color by the balls, and Biden lost 8 points from before in regards to black men, 8 points from black women, and then this is the numbers just from one of the counties in Texas, and most of the counties in Texas follow the same pattern, where he went from having a 29-point advantage or a 19-point advantage down to single digits, and in this particular county, that was mostly Hispanic, second most Hispanic county in America. Obama won it by
Rio
43.
Grande Valley, right?
Yeah, Rio Grande Valley.
Like,
Hillary
on the
won it by
border.
33. Biden lost that county by 5 points because Hispanics went the fuck away from him and said "fuck
Well,
you."
There's a
And
bunch of factors, right?
Yeah.
Like we keep saying, like everything is everything. There's not one factor for everything. People have different motivations. Like you
Right.
and your neighbor could both decide to vote for Trump and have two totally different reasons for it.
yeah,
So I think some of them are probably
Florida.
concerned about like the border. They probably don't like. They probably want a fucking wall, right? Like
a lot of them,
imagine
a
if-
lot of them probably do. But I'll tell you, a lot of it has to do with what we were talking about no ground game. Chuck Rocha, who was doing
Exactly,
Latino
that's what I
outreach,
was gonna say next.
right? So Chuck Rocha was doing outreach on the Latino front for Bernie and did a great job. Latinos came out in droves for Bernie, did not come out for Biden in the same kind of strength. And
Same thing in South
and
Florida, man.
he kept complaining that the Biden campaign wasn't doing any of the suggestions in regards to Latino outreach, and that if that is going to be the mainstay, if they're going to go, because Biden first of all said the Latinos are not part of his winning
not
strategy.
part of my path, right?
Yeah, they're not part of his path. If that's the case, and he's gonna go and tell Latino immigrants or people or families or people with families that are immigrants that are Latino, if he's gonna go and tell them that, and then on top of that, when he gets criticism from them, he comes back and says, "Go vote for Trump."
Go vote for Trump.
Yeah. And you know what they said is, "All right, bet. I'm all right. I'll go vote
Yeah,
for
I
Trump."
think that's part of it.
I'll
That's
go vote for
another
Trump.
part of it, right?
You don't just do that shit. And then on top of that, I think that messaging of Trump hitting Biden over the head with "you built the cages," I think that resonated.
Yeah,
You know,
I think that's true, Badger. But I don't think it's as strong of a group as they've predicted. Like those are the same people who took us down in the primary, and
Yeah.
I think that's a definite fact. I think that's definitely happening. I just don't know if it's going to be like the
No.
kind of like stable long-term
Right.
coalition you
And-
would like to have for the party, and they sacrifice the working class
They-
support to get
we-
that is
they
really
were.
dumb move.
it is. And there were people in charge of Latino outreach in the Biden campaign. There was a paid Biden Latino outreach director. Ana Navarro had a theory as to why Biden struggled with Latinos this time around. So let's go to that.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do that? You're gonna do that to us?
I have been talking for months, like a broken record, about how Miami has been bombarded by this narrative that they're voting for any Democrat was voting for a socialist, was voting for a communist, and we saw it pan out last night.
And I've got to get to the
It
break.
might be false, but it doesn't mean it didn't work.
I've got to get to the break, but I think you're right, and I think that is something that should be analyzed because you saw the ads in certain places, and you hear people talking in focus groups about voting for a Democrat or voting for Biden was the equivalent of voting for a socialist. And I think we need to, we're going to be discussing that over the coming weeks and really the coming months. But thank you all. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that was that was her theory of the case there, Matt. That Latinos were turned off by socialism. They came out for Bernie. That was one of the strongest demographics for his campaign, and he openly embraces the term democratic socialism.
yeah, because he explains like he doesn't buy into the right wing framing,
Right.
right? Like Joe Biden does. Joe Biden runs away from it. He doesn't say, actually, this kind of socialism is good, and explains it like a normal, honest person would do. He's like, nah, man, I don't like any of that stuff, that good stuff. Like I don't, rugged individualism. Like,
Yep.
come on, Jack. And then it's just such a dumb thing because it makes you look weak, first of all, for like bowing to their narrative, and then second of all, you don't have the good policies on your side. You don't have, like, the way Bernie owns it. He's like, listen, he explains to people, your money's going to the top and not to you.
Right. So is it generational? That's a good question. So
Yeah, I don't think they're gone forever.
I don't know if they are. If they continue with that same kind of strategy, they've shown that they don't have to vote for them, and that is going to be a problem if they don't.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though: is it generational? If across African American demographics, across the Latino demographic, it varies a little bit. It depends on where you are in the country. I think in Florida, maybe it carries a little bit more weight when it comes to older Latino voters. Here, I can tell you, look, anecdotally, if I can speak here, it doesn't really matter when they try to hit Bernie over the head with a socialist label. When I've gotten and done outreach and gone door to door and talking about what Bernie wants to do, and then they ask, a lot of times I get asked, but why do they call him a socialist? And I explain to them, this is what they call socialism. It's not a problem. The label itself is not a problem if it has context. A lot of the time, people take socialist and they don't know what it means, and they just run with it as it's some kind of smear term, and for some people at that point, it's a turnoff. With Bernie, it's not. Look, I can tell you, El Paso is one of the largest cities in Texas. It has one of the largest Hispanic populations. This is one of the few major cities that is a majority Hispanic city, and Bernie won here. Bernie won here because we went to those areas that were working class, and we talked about socialism. We talked about what that means, and the Hispanic community accepted that, and they not only accepted, they embraced that. They liked it. And as far as the younger generation, then yeah, there is a definite generational split across every demographic when it comes to
same as all the old boomers, the white ones and the black ones too, and the Asian ones as well.
Right, and it's like we've said before on this show, Matt, where the only people that are probably that have been criminalized or demonized more in the media and throughout the establishment than a socialist is probably the African American community. Yeah. That's about it. And a lot of times those two communities intertwine because some of our most prominent socialist leaders are all from the African American community. Yeah. So it makes that a little bit more of a slam dunk for the establishment. But no, the socialist label is not something that it was not something that you needed to run away from. It was something you needed to run toward and explain.
In fact, like, if you were a smarter kind of politician, you would look and say, this is what all of our great heroes from the past were would be called socialists now.
Right.
Like, if you're a good person and you're in the public eye and you're doing enough work, you're bound to be called a socialist in this country. Like, that's what they call anybody who's not, strictly for the status quo of enriching the ruling class. Like, if you have any kind of, redistributive agenda, like any kind of halfway decent policy, you're going to get called a socialist.
People want to know what the hell you're going to do. They want to know what you're going to do with your tax money, with their tax money. They want to know.
Maybe that would have been like a marginal issue for a few handfuls of people.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the kind of
not the kind of
massive
thing that you
issue
run
that
away
they're talking
from.
about. Like,
and it's definitely not enough to cause
it's
30-point
outreach.
swings.
Yeah, it's the outreach and the messaging and the whole style of the campaign. Like, they specifically didn't spend any money in these communities. They wasn't part of their path to victory, right?
Yes.
They deserved it, right? Like, what, not to say that Trump was, like, obviously not better, but, like,
no,
they kind of stuck their middle finger up to a lot of these communities, and
I'll tell you, my
not
community.
that they learned though.
No, and I'll tell you right now, they stuck their middle finger up to my community, and my community stuck their finger right back at them. So
they spent
I can't get
$200 million
mad.
on those fucking shitty candidates in the South, and huge swaths of the country just didn't get any money spent on bringing them the message, and they are going to try to blame the voters as usual, right? And they're going to try and find ways to blame the left. Obviously, like, we'll see what they come up with. Like, you saw Navarro there, like, I have friends who are Contras, like she has the audacity to like go on TV and insult somebody else.
Yeah.
But that, I don't know. There are some idiots trying to say that there's like a strongman thing, that like that's the legacy of the like Latin American immigrants, is like an affection for strongmen leaders, which that's not something I've ever noticed.
No.
Like I said, maybe a handful of people, but I think the major cause was just outreach and messaging, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't, and even if like Biden does have a technically, like, he probably has a more humane immigration policy, like that might go into some people's considerations, but it was certainly not a big part of his campaign messaging, right? Like the only things he talked about were Trump's mishandling of the coronavirus.
It
pretty
was
much.
It was
his
a
like
whole,
racism,
right? It was it was a whole thing, and the way he talked about racism wasn't in a way that addresses concerns for people of color. It was a way to not make white people feel bad.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Exactly.
It was.
Just shows you
it was
whole thing.
It was a whole wave of virtue signaling that was meant to play towards the MSNBC crowd.
Yeah.
See,
and he he sacrificed so much to appeal to this tiny little segment of the electorate.
Yes, the people that go ahead and hang on Rachel Maddow's every word and like to watch Chris Hayes and Lawrence O'Donnell and believe the whole line about the soul of the nation. And
it was the same thing with the BLM protest, right? Instead of embracing it and saying, no, the cops are fucked up, I'm standing with the people because they deserve justice, he says, hey man, those people, look, I'm not with those people, like he did the same kind of like ambiguous messaging that just makes him look very empty and shallow to all of these people.
And it's so much fear-mongering and hyperbole around Trump that it just becomes a complete caricature of some
and people
Republican
just don't
boogeyman.
respond to that.
No. Most people
they
don't.
Get sick of it.
And speaking of which, I was talking to my aunt today. The one I told you that's like a the rad lib, the one that just watches MSNBC all day. So she called. So I talked to her this morning. And I calmed her down and let her know that Biden was about to win. And then she was all saying, "I just can't believe it. I thought the American people were gonna stand up for decency and what's right." And I kept trying to explain to her, look, you think that because you're in an MSNBC bubble. You are the one that is all like decency and humility, and it's about the soul of the nation, and the American people were gonna not stand for it. And that's not how most people think.
Where's let's watch this clip that PJ's talking about.
Yeah, this is already cut in. Apparently, NYPD. Oh yeah, let me go. I actually had a couple of clips saved up from before, so let's go to those old ones. Let's go to those new ones. So here we go.
We should see what they're doing.
Let's see some cops beat up some people. Unfortunately, hope they get some shots in. But yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it takes a police force to do that to a protester.
I saw some.
And this is
brutal beatdowns.
So here we go. This is another one. Oh, I could go to it. The NYPD is rioting in the streets because Trump is losing. Yeah, that I'm not sure if that's exactly why, but let's go see what they're doing over here.
Look at him. That's a police riot, man. What else would you call that? They just started attacking the crowd. Look at them. They're fucking animals, man.
Why are you so hard with me?
Let us disperse.
I'd have gone with fuck the police, but to each their own.
Someone grab my helmet down there.
One kind of stream is New York shit with the cops are riding Oh, looks like Mickey controls something.
Yeah. Let's see. You gonna send that one to me?
Yeah. Here. I put it in the Zoom chat.
Okay. I even check the Zoom chat. Oh. Whoa.
Or did she just end?
I don't know. You check all this stuff when you send that stuff to me. Weird. You send something?
Yeah, it's in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, I haven't checked that thing before. I don't know. You get that?
I don't know.
Just send it to me on Twitter. Yeah. Let's keep going to this stuff. All right. So.
Hold on.
Oh, there's another one here.
You found a good one? Yeah, this one kind of sucks.
Oh, it's just 5 seconds.
Back up! Back up! Back up!
So this is West Broadway and Prince.
This isn't. I want to see a live one.
Yeah, let me see if I can find something live really fast. But let me go back over here. All right. Oh, this is a lot. Oh, so Numiki. Let's go to.
A ton of folks on the streets, and if so, they seem very peaceful. But look at all of those cops. A cop just shoved again, shoved. They're not allowed to walk on the streets. This is a thing that's common in New York, where you show up and you're there protesting.
Biden's America!
Tommy just said Biden's America. I mean, this is what's so fascinating here is that
What's this link?
All of you
14th Street.
are some bitch ass motherfuckers!
This is not a result of Trump potentially trying to seize the presidency. This isn't like Trump went to the courts. What's going on right now is they preemptively boarded up thousands of businesses and banks across America, big corporations and banks, and that's 14th Street. That is sort of the line of demarcation from uptown versus
And the thing is,
downtown.
Matt, we did see like the cops blaring out Trump 2020 and shit like that too before.
Yeah, no, they're
marching.
cops
Look what's
love
going
Trump.
on the other
Like
side of the street.
87% of the cops support
Cops lining up.
Trump.
Yeah.
Hundreds
So,
of cops. Those are
I
all
mean,
cops on
they
the other
there's
side.
got to be a lot of
Pedaling
people
them in. Oh, I
in
can't-
positions of
Tommy, we
power
can't
like the
see.
cops
Zoom in a
that
little
are
bit.
The cops
disappointed with
aren't
the
gonna like
results.
take it upon
This
themselves
is a police riot.
to try
You're
to like
watching a
seize
police
power, though,
riot.
right?
This has
Like
been a
they
peaceful
will
protest since it started.
join them if something pops off. Like they'll definitely defend. Like they will like solve some of that like at some of the
So they're right by
intensity
Union
at the
Square,
vote
not too
counting
far.
places earlier.
It's on
Like the
half a
cops
block
were like
away.
letting them do their
Which is a
thing.
central point
They
where
weren't stopping
organizers
them.
meet up
Like
with
they would have
all right.
been. Like
So
they would
you-
ever have
Also
let like
subway.
BLM or any kind of like progressive like left group protests like that, right? They would have gassed them so quick.
Think this one, yeah, she is. So let's see. DeKalb County in Georgia, a large Democratic stronghold just outside of Atlanta, finished counting its last absentee ballots just after midnight on Thursday. A total of 127 absentee ballots were processed. The county's final tally was roughly 83% for Biden, 16% for Trump. So we'll go to DeKalb. Let's go to the live one really fast. So let's cut to that really fast.
Just very grateful for your presence and
you
your
turn it
voice.
down a little
Thanks
bit?
for speaking because,
Yeah,
one thing
just
I'm
turn it
not
down.
sure our audience knows, they probably
I think those numbers look like that's enough for him to win. If it was
It might be.
83, if it was 83%, that should be enough.
That actually it might be that, because remember he was Biden was only down by less than a point. So
Yeah, I think it was like 70-30. He had to split it. Something
right,
70 something
right. Yeah, he was something like that. Let me.
If you get 83%, that's enough.
Right. So let's go back to us really fast, and then I can get an update on the situation in Georgia.
But these motherfuckers on Twitter like getting like gloating and shit, like Charlotte Clymer and like Chris Jackson and those shit lib scumbags.
Yeah.
It's like you barely squeak this shit out if you do it all, and just compared to
here we go. Yeah, that's
Obama
what we had pulled up before too. PJ is that Biden only needed 25,000 votes to come back.
He needed 25 more than Trump, right? So he needed it to be 75-25.
Right, exactly.
I think they're gonna keep their numbers should be out tonight, though, right?
Yeah, that's what we're anticipating. The only ones we're gonna be waiting on for another day is gonna be
Nevada, right?
Yeah, Nevada. So today we could be, if Georgia swings blue, then that's a wrap too. That was not intentional rhyme, by the way. So, let's see what we can find here. Well, the latest AP numbers that they came up with in Georgia, they still have Trump up here, 98% of the.
Yeah, he's down 23K. It looks like.
You're talking about in which county again? DeKalb, right? So. DeKalb
just came in. Fulton's the one they're still counting.
Where's DeKalb?
By Atlanta. Just north of Atlanta.
Cobb, Fulton, Forsyth, Gwyneth, Clark, Clayton, Fulton, Douglas. Where is this place?
Just north of Fulton.
Cobb? No, there's only Cobb.
No, just east of that.
No, it says Fulton. Can't find it. Oh, there we go. DeKalb. So DeKalb right now, 305, 197, 83%. The 15% is what they have in from. So let's go to that really fast. Right there. There you go. That is 95.8% in from DeKalb. And
okay. Yeah, that's not. So that's the one. So this is where we're at now.
Right. So this is
Fulton's the one we're waiting on.
Right. So that puts Donald Trump only 0.47% up. That's less than. Yeah, that is about 22,000 votes. Yeah.
So
22,000 or so votes.
He'll definitely make that up in Fulton County.
Yeah,
that's all that's left. If it's all Fulton County.
Yeah, so
definitely.
So
there's no way he
over
won't.
here in Fulton, let's see. Hold on. I just found Fulton. There you go. Fulton County. It's the 100% reporting actually.
Oh, it is.
It might not be. What I was noticing with the What I was noticing with there we go. What I was noticing with what I was noticing with the AP though is that they were putting 100% reporting when it wasn't. When I was waiting on Milwaukee to update everybody on the Twitter feed, it kept saying 100% and it wasn't. It just So it might not be completely in yet in that sense. So Let's go and check out a different map just to double check.
I feel like it's quiet because Trump's already claimed that he won it, right? So he wouldn't say anything differently.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to go to his
But then,
tweets really fast because he did.
If Biden's not
we did refer
saying
to it.
anything, he probably didn't win it.
See, so here on see where we can find it. Lawyers ask for meaningful access. All right, so this is the tweet that they were talking about on the segment we showed earlier. There we go. We have claimed for electoral vote purposes the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, which won't allow legal observers. The state of Georgia, the state of North Carolina, each one has a big Trump lead. Additionally, we hereby claim the state of Michigan, if in fact, yeah. And there were several of his tweets that look like this, though. Some or all of the content shared in this tweet is disputed and might be misleading about an election or other civic process.
They were doing that to anybody who tweeted Arizona and Sharpie in the same sentence, too.
Yeah. So if you can see from the whole day, he hasn't been well. He hasn't been taking the news of things all that great. So how come every time they mail in ballot dumps are so devastating in their percentage and power of destruction? What is this all about? So this is
their
about,
percentage and power of destruction. What is he talking about?
So the reason is enough to go to court. No honest person can look at this and say it's normal and not concerned. So yeah, he's
What was Walsh freaking out about?
Oh yeah, let's go to Walsh. Let's go to Matt Walsh, and yeah, and everything's deleted.
Disclaimers.
It's deleted. Yeah, there's disclaimers after disclaimers, because let's face it, what he's saying is misleading, and it's not good for people that are already thinking that they got robbed just based off of his speech to keep seeing a bunch of bullshit from Trump about this stuff. So
what's Tom Fitton say?
Where's Tom Fitton? Did I pass it?
Oh, it's on the right. You might like.
Oh, Tom Fitton. Okay, let's see first. Yeah, our lawyers have asked for meaningful access. Now, keep in mind, there's one other thing about this. They've been live recording of the whole counting process. So apparently they were anticipating this shit a little bit, and they were recording everything for posterity.
Who was?
The counters in Arizona and Michigan and Pennsylvania. Those are all recorded. So before anything, so legally speaking, Matt, what kind of reaction do you think a judge is going to have to the claims that Rudy Giuliani is going to file in court?
He's claiming about, like, I don't know what his claim's going to be. Like, what?
He's filing for a temporary stay, at least, to go and halt the counting in the election.
In Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania, for sure. Yeah,
in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think Michigan. They're trying to do some. They're trying to file all kinds of legal actions all over the country in order to maintain Trump's.
No, I don't think they'll find anything. Like, they.
Then they're going to claim fraud, and they're claiming all kinds of other
process. Crap. Like, they had already sucked as much suppression as they could out of the system.
Right.
In the weeks and months leading up to it, there had been all those cases that were filed. The thing with Kavanaugh just last week was about Harris County. That was the one with the overnight collections. Mm-hmm. They were trying to get them thrown out because they were done overnight. The Pennsylvania one was the drive-in votes, right? Like, they were trying to get those.
They're trying to do the same thing in Texas with the drive-through votes. It was over 100,000.
The ruling too.
There are a bunch of other votes in Atlanta that need to be cured, right? So there are more.
Oh God,
there are more to come.
Imagine if it comes down to that, the Chuds will be so mad. That kind of case. So if that's the case they have, that might get some play, right? I can't see them getting some, like, harebrained. Just, it's not fair that they're counting them after the election kind of analysis. Like, even though Kavanaugh said that in the ruling, like, that is not, like, that's not going to fly for precedent for case law to get something passed through the Supreme Court. So they're going to need something stronger than that. You know, they're going to need.
What do you think is their strongest case that they can end up making?
like I think, like I said, I feel like they've already squeezed them in terms of like everything. I think they just said, right? They just said that if it's postmarked by election day, it's good. So assuming they're not going to go back against that ruling that they just made, like they're going to need. I mean,
Yeah, you don't. There's not a
I
lot
don't
to
even
grasp.
know,
There's
man.
not a lot to grasp there, right? I mean, just
Like-
from a legal perspective.
yeah, they would have to try to,
So
you know,
Trump probably
find
hurt
some
his
sort
standing
of-
with Roberts and Kavanaugh with that dumb shit last night. That did turn off a lot of people. And now the claiming language, of course, that is something else. We do have a little bit of an update from Fulton County here, so let's go to that. Boom, Fulton County votes about to show up like. But let's go to.
You should have pulled up that one with Kamala and Joe. You didn't see that one?
No, I didn't catch that one.
Oh man, it was the Stankonia cover, but with Kamala and Joe Biden. It was gross.
There was one other person I did want to go ahead and give some credit to because he called it just about the way we did. And
But
made
like
it,
that's the thing is though, like, even if they get a best case scenario judge, they still need something to like base their claim on.
They need some kind of basis, and like I would not want to go ahead and start that case. I mean, we would be scrambling for some kind of precedent to grasp onto to make some. Even with flimsy legal reasoning, and that's one of the big things is you learn is there's a lot of things that you can stretch and twist in order to make some kind of claim up. Even with that considered, there's not a lot to go off of. There just is not, and especially for a judge not to just find it frivolous and throw it out. But
I mean, I wonder if they could do something where, they found some sort of
right, and here like this is
impropriety with
right,
the collection process. They found that like ballots weren't properly marked or something like that.
Yeah,
they could make something up maybe.
Right, and see, look at what Chicago Badger is saying is I understand that, but 100% rubber stamp. Right.
So if a judge did that though, and they were trying to base the entire election on this flimsy ass ruling, like the way the legal system has worked, like I don't know if they would be willing to make that kind of call, even if they were, just completely depraved or whatever. They would still that kind of call to make, even if you didn't care about your career, it just wouldn't stand. Like you would need a lot of people in the courts above you to agree with it. I don't think they would do that. They wouldn't do like a naked coup like that is what it would amount to.
That's exactly what it would amount to. That's why I'm saying that there's not enough, even from a flimsy ass legal, from the most baseless legal standing. There's not enough there to just go even to rubber stamp it.
And the other thing is he needs them all.
Yes,
he needs every single state that's still up. Like
that's the other part of it. That's the other part. You're talking about multiple jurisdictions,
all along, right? I said if it was one or two states, he could maybe do it, but there's no like that many states. I don't know if he'll be able to do it because he needs probably a different thing in each state to try to throw votes out.
Yes.
So not only just to have one case, he needs to have like 5 different instances where he can nullify
several
100,000 plus
judges
votes.
Because it's going to be going through appeals right away, even if they try something like that. Really, for our purposes, there just isn't enough there to make that case, really. But let's go to. I wanted to go to this other video. I think this guy had it pretty much how we did, except I think he explained it a little bit better than we did. But let's go to it. So here we go. Not him.
The election is November 3rd, and it's been said that we won't know the results until days later. When do you think we'll know the results?
All right. Jimmy, you raise an important point, and I hope the American people understand it because this is something I worry about. My view is every vote must be counted. For reasons which I don't have the time to get into tonight, you're going to have a situation, I suspect, in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, other states, where they are going to be receiving huge amounts of mail-in ballots. And unlike states like Florida or Vermont, they're not be able, for bad reasons, to begin processing those ballots until, I don't know,
Bad
election
reasons.
day, or maybe when the polls close. That means you're going to have states dealing with perhaps millions
This is
of
what I
mail-in
mean about
ballots.
Joe Biden
Here is
being
my worry.
deficient. Joe
What
Biden
polls
couldn't
show
explain this to you.
and what studies have shown is that for
You know?
whatever reason, Democrats are more likely to use mail-in ballots. Republicans are more likely to walk into polling booths on election day. It is likely that the first votes that will be counted will be those people who came in on election day, which will be Republican. And here is the fear, and I hope everybody hears that. It could well be, and I don't know what's going to happen, nobody does, but it could well be that at 10 o'clock on election night, Trump is winning in Michigan, he's winning in Pennsylvania, he's winning in Wisconsin, and he gets on the television, he says, "Thank you, Americans, for re-electing me. It's all over. Have a good day." But then the next day and the day following, all of those mail-in ballots start getting counted, and it turns out that Biden has won those states. At which point Trump says, "See, I told you the whole thing was fraudulent. I told you those mail-in ballots were crooked, and we're not going to leave office." So that is a worry that I and a lot of people have. So the results, we don't know what's happened. Maybe the results will be on election day, but people should be aware of.
Yeah, Bernie, you nailed it there. That's exactly the way it played out, and exactly those states. And when I was looking at the Joe Rogan feed with Kyle on there, and they were playing around, giving him shit because Trump was already pulling ahead in those states, and the money line dropped from minus 200 Biden to minus 800 Trump. What that means is you would have to pay $100. No, you'd have to pay $800 to make. In other words, it was an 80% chance that Trump was going to win when it was at minus 800. Damn. And it started out with Biden at minus 200, which means he was favored to win. To go to it right now, Biden is minus 815. Now he's about a 90% lock to win. So yeah, you have to bet $800 to win 100. I think that's the way it ended up working. I didn't get too much into gambling enough to tell you
Georgia
that part, but yeah, that's
only has 95% of the vote in. I thought they were a lot closer to done.
Yeah. So, due to I guess for real, I don't know why that the money line guys would adjust things that way. They had no reason to. If I could go back to all the that night and figure out a way to place a bet when that money line was like that would have probably been really, really, really worth it.
I said it, man. I definitely said to put money on Biden.
Yeah, futures markets expecting Biden to win now. Yeah, the line out there for him. If I could go to it, let me see. Let's see. Yeah, 2-17, 7-1. So that represents about a 90% chance to win, right there. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a wrap, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much a wrap on him, on his presidency and everything. It's gonna be I don't see him going away quietly. I just don't see him going away quietly. And it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. By tonight, we'll still keep looking at it and keep an eye on everything. But as far as like Georgia goes, yeah, it's it's that if one of those, as soon as one of those things flip or one of those turn blue, you can kind of chalk this one up already. You can put this one in the books, and it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, because from what we can tell in the immediate future, the Democrats are not going to take away any kind of lesson that they should from here. They're not going to take this as you keep this in mind. All right, just at the end, Georgia could flip, Nevada could go, Pennsylvania could go. He could end up winning all of those. He'd end up Biden would end up with over 300 electoral votes. He would end up, but let's not make any mistake about this. He got fucking lucky. He got really fucking lucky to be able to win against Trump in this sense. no matter what the final electoral college is.
You think, I'm looking at the Senate race. It looks like the outstanding votes are all in the cities. Like,
all the outstanding votes in Georgia are going to be coming in from the cities. All the outstanding votes from Pennsylvania are going to be coming in from mail-ins. They're all going to be 70 to 80% Biden. So,
well, it says the mail-in in Georgia was pretty evenly split, but
but the city vote is going to be that split that we saw in DeKalb County and
Ossoff
Fulton.
is down 120K, and there is 95% of the votes are in. Like, that's a much bigger margin than Biden has to make up.
Yeah.
But he's got some blue counties. Like, he might be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, they're.
Yeah, man.
Like,
If the Dems could take the Senate, that would be a huge.
Yeah, because
like,
because it's regardless of what happens, it's gonna end up being a thing where more
it looks
than
like
likely,
Warnock's winning too.
Well, overall, like the picture that we're gonna be looking at with the new government that would end up coming in January, more than likely the Democrats are gonna lose some House seats. We got some great progressives in there: Jamal Bowman, Cory Bush, Mondaire Jones. We got the whole squad back, and but the Democrat advantage is really narrowed, and Pelosi is coming back. I'm not sure if they'll, there's an outside chance they won't pick her for speaker. I'd be happy about that, but
oh God, yeah, I don't think they'll do it, but that would be sick. Like,
yeah, if they don't pick her, that'd be great. The other part of it is the Senate's likely going to stay in Republican hands, and Mitch McConnell is going to do everything to obstruct whatever Biden tries to do. So I would say the affordable
it's going to be fucking miserable.
If there's any kind of if there was any kind of chance that Joe would follow through on a public option, that's gone under a Republican Senate.
He can't get it through. He needs
everything's
not going to be able to.
As far as a stimulus bill under Biden, that's a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. Most of what Biden will end up getting done, he can get us back into the Iran deal. He can get us back into the Paris Climate Accords. But as far as getting any part of his agenda done, the $15 an hour minimum wage, that's not gonna fly either. His entire agenda is gonna be stifled by Mitch McConnell in the Senate because of how much the Democrats bungled this election. They got lucky to win the presidency. They got really fucking lucky to do that.
Let's see where
it bit them in the ass.
Races.
Well, let's go to the Senate races then. So let's see where we can go to this
Senate.
All right, well, let me actually go to the House race really fast.
It looks like it's 48-48 right now with 4 seats remaining.
Here we go. So here is the Senate races. So
And
this is the House. This is the House race actually. So 204 to 190, right now is what we're looking at.
Let's look at the Senate.
Right, we'll go to that one right now too. So from the Senate, national, come on, Senate.
What's still left?
From out here in the Senate, it's 48-48 is what they have, what the AP is going for, including 2 independents. So that's they need 51 for a majority, and they're 48-48.
Well, I guess if they win, though, they have Kamala, right, as the tiebreaker, so they could do something with 50 if they had to.
Right. So if they do get to 50, then that would be a win for Dems too.
So there's 4 races haven't been called yet. Which ones are they?
Let's see.
Ossoff is one, right?
Well, it would be.
It looks like he's behind.
Purdue in Georgia. And then it's
Purdue's,
Tom Tillis in North Carolina.
So they're both
and then
up
we
by
have
2.
Dan Sullivan in Alaska, which is going to be a win for the Republican. And really,
Again,
really, this is the race that we this should have been a win. This one should have been a win. Susan Collins coming back, widely unpopular, and the Dems couldn't pull it off. And they ran what the Chuck Schumer arranged was a lot of these Republican light Democrats to try and take these seats away, because that's the other part of it. Even if they would get a slim majority they would still have to deal with conservative Democrats like Joe Manchin that would not vote for a stimulus bill, and they would not vote for $15
What?
an hour minimum
Manchin
wage.
would vote for a stimulus bill.
I don't think he
He
will.
would-
I wouldn't count
No,
on
he
it.
would vote for a stimulus bill.
I wouldn't count on him doing that. I wouldn't count on him voting for a public option, and I wouldn't count on
No,
him.
a public option is not the same as a stimulus bill.
No. But I'm just listing off things that he wouldn't vote for.
Actually, you know what else too? Like, I don't know. Like, he would have a hard time justifying that kind of vote to his state. Like, they're not.
Yeah,
they're-
this is a good point too from Chicago Badger. Someone explained why Gideon conceded with ranked choice and only 83% reporting. Yeah, that is a good point. So let's go back to it again just to pull up what the situation was like in Maine.
So that's
right.
only 2 of the races, though. What races are still out? The 2 in Georgia. Tom Tillis.
So, yeah,
There's one more race, right?
Right. So, is New York Times just not updated? So, New York Times, from what I noticed, updated last. AP was updating first, other than the Decision Desk on Twitter. So, Twitter, the Decision Desk was already updating things well in advance, and everything else was kind of falling in line after them. It was after that it was the AP. But the thing with the AP was they were putting things from certain counties that they were 100% reported, and they weren't 100% reported. And then they would just generally update after that. So but they were providing the most current info as
What
far
did
as
they
the
say?
final numbers. But yeah, bro, that's where
What
we're
did they say? They
What-
called which races?
for the AP.
Yeah, which.
Well, yeah, it's this map that I pulled up, man. So like all of the open elections here, that's Tom Tillis leading by 2, and then Dan Perdue leading by 2. But everything else is called, bro.
And that one is going to a special election, though,
Yeah.
right? The runoff.
So
one.
special election. So let's go in here. So,
So-
I mean, conceivably, do you think if Biden overtakes Trump, is that possible to overtake too? It's a little bit further back.
Yeah, it's a bigger margin.
Maybe
but
it's a bigger margin. You had some people diverging from the top of the ticket. Imagine that when you had Jim Clyburn saying that it was going to weaken down ballot races, that Bernie would weaken down ballot races, right?
God, Bloodbath got smoked, bro.
Yeah. So let's go to Bloodbath McGrath in
And Jamie Harrison got smoked too. I can't believe that.
Oh.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with the polling? Because
Bro,
those
like,
polls
the
were like dead
polling-
even.
The polling was very, very much in favor of what we call Lindsey Graham. I mean, at least Collins for sure. But here we go. Bloodbath McGrath.
Hickenlooper-
Here we go. This was the final result. 58-37. And I'll tell you right now, Charles Booker would have had a much better chance of being able to beat him.
Yeah. What seat did they lose? Because
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones, right?
Doug Jones, bro.
Yeah. So they lost that seat, but then they gained Mark Kelly's seat and Hickenlooper's seat.
Yeah, and there was Jamie Harrison losing by 10 points to Lindsey Graham.
Look, this one I'm looking at says he looks like he lost by 14 points, 56-42.
Yeah, the only one I really was invested in Senate-wise, it was a long shot anyway, but it was still worthy of note was the Marquita Bradshaw one, where, yeah, it wasn't really all that close, but, I mean, she didn't fare any worse than Democrat did in Tennessee. So here we go.
Yes.
We got another comment here. So the question is, are Trump supporters lying to pollsters, or is it a weighing error? I don't think we have an answer to this.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue what's up with them. I
When
don't
it,
think the Trump supporters are lying. I don't think
no,
that's the thing.
I don't think they care enough to say that.
No,
Oh
they
yeah,
love
no,
Trump,
yeah,
man.
they
They
love Trump.
love
They're
talking about how much they love Trump.
right. So I don't think it's anything to do with that. I
Yeah.
think that their methodology, probably in getting people to answer polls, is flawed. Because a lot of them still rely on landlines. First of all, I mean, look, you got to think about it. Have you ever been part of a poll, Matt?
Mm-mm.
I haven't never been part of a poll. And anybody in the chat, you want to go and chime in if you've been called by a pollster to go ahead and say if you participate in it. You know, and they brought this up on Rogan too. Um, it's almost like when in the old days when they talk about if you knew a Nielsen family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's almost as mythical as that. But are you in
Oh.
eject? Are you in yeah, see, look at you. You so we never answered a poll, but you've been called in, and that's kind of what I would anticipate. I probably wouldn't answer a poll if they call me. I'm not gonna be sitting there on the phone trying to go and
Yeah.
list off whatever. If it was like a text, maybe I would go and reply
like,
on a text or something quick like
I know,
that.
but if I was actually answering though, like if I had agreed to do the poll, I would tell them the truth. You know, like I wouldn't lie to them if it was something I had already committed to.
Right,
Like
but if-
I would lie to get out of doing it possibly, but
Right.
yeah, I don't answer my phone either. Exactly.
Right. I'm not.
I don't
and,
answer
yeah,
unless I know
who
who it
answers
is.
an unknown number? Nobody
Yeah.
does that unless it's like unless you have a work phone and they call you a work, call you at work or something like that.
Are you saying that only weirdos answer the phone from unknown
Yeah,
numbers then?
that's basically it. Old people and weirdos answer phones from unknown numbers. You know,
Yeah.
if it's an email, I won't click on that because it's probably a phishing email for all I know. You
Or
know,
they're
if-
going to ask for money or something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they a lot of times they just read, and then on top of that, if you do answer anything, they're probably gonna add you to some kind of mailing list, and you're gonna get bombarded with a bunch of DNC emails from 50 different candidates all across the country.
I might respond to a text though.
Yeah,
And
I
I
might
know they
respond
do
to a
those a
text
lot.
message. If they did by text message and they text you out, okay, here's Biden or whatever, or Trump or Hawkins or whatever it is. Yeah, and landlines, that's the problem, are so irrelevant that they stop paying for caller ID because of what's the point? Either it's
Well-
going to be a robocall or my grandparents. And that's
Or do you
exactly
think they're
the
trying
point.
to, or do you think they're trying to manufacture consent though? Do you think there's some of that
There's
in there where they're like lib pollsters?
I considered that as well. If they're because a lot of the Nate Silver famously lib pollster. All it does is ruin his credibility, right? I mean, he's wrong again. 538. No one's gonna
But they
really
thought
take
that they
serious.
could get the polls. You know, they would put it out there, and then the people would catch up with their.
Right. Well,
Well, I guess Biden's gonna win. I might as well vote for him. You know.
Well, no, I think it would have the opposite effect, and especially now, that's the other thing. When it comes to now with the anti-Trump favor being so damn high, I don't think anything that the polls were gonna say was gonna make a difference as far as
Yeah.
depressing or
And you know what?
bolstering
I think
turnout.
if they were closer, there probably would have been bigger turnout. I feel like that's the enthusiasm gap, right? Is like the
Yeah,
Trump people.
Biden's gonna win. Don't need me out there. I mean,
Exactly, people-
and that would have been my inclination too. But except if people weren't so high up on their anti-Trump shit, it wouldn't have made a difference. Like they cared enough to go out there in the first place to make sure that he lost, and especially coming off after 2016, and all the polls said the same shit that Hillary was about to win. And she lost. I think that no matter what the poll said, if you're coming out to beat
Yeah.
Trump, you were coming out to beat Trump no matter what the poll said.
I think PJ's right though. It's like you would answer the phone and say, "Hell yeah, I want to beat Trump. Like I'm gonna vote for Biden," and it wouldn't necessarily, even if you said you were gonna vote because you wanted to be in the poll, and if you were the kind of shit lib who was like excited to vote for Biden, you would want to be in the poll, right? Because that's, the libs love like virtue signaling. That they think they're so great just because they vote blue, so they would love to take that call. So that's the kind of people who are saying that. And then when it comes to election day, it's like they're not really enthusiastic about it because it's Joe fucking Biden. And he's, beating Trump. Like you figure that, those kind of people also too, they think it's they can't understand why anybody supports Trump, right? That it's like they don't need to. The people are obviously going to vote Trump out, right? So then they don't show up on election day, or they don't turn in their mail-in ballot, or whatever it is, you know. And then it's Trump people are fucking lining up to go because they're jazzed about their guy, right?
Right. So I'm trying to find these damn.
93% of them. Lincoln Project actually did the opposite effect. They grew Trump support with the Republicans.
Right.
He only had 90%
It had
in
a
2016.
aligning with the Lincoln
93%
Project
this year.
backfired on them. Imagine that. So here we go. This is the average of polls from RCP. Look
Every
at these
single
numbers.
one of them.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. They're going to
Plus
be
10.
massively off. Plus 10, plus 7,
10,
plus 11 on one.
What?
Yes. You know, and then look at here. Top battlegrounds. Florida, Biden plus 2.3. He's going to lose by 5 points, I think is what they said. North Carolina, Biden 0.9 up. North Carolina 0.2 up for Trump. And Pennsylvania 1.2 for Biden. 4.2 in Michigan. 6.7 in Wisconsin. 0.9 in Arizona. You know,
I don't even understand that.
Okay, so in the after, it's gonna be easier to tell when the dust settles. But are the polls, the numbers?
Do you think it had something to do with the black and brown voters they lost? Like they had something.
Yeah, it had
factored
to
in?
do with that.
Like,
And see,
we're
and
going to get 95% in the black and brown community, so
There
we'll
you
just
go.
pencil that into our projection.
So
You know.
let's see. I think there's a combination of shitty poll methods because of how loud Trump supporters are. You mean to tell me they aren't picking up these calls? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I guess they are hard to reach, right?
Maybe,
they are kind of
maybe they are.
You know,
but
like not. But there's plenty of Trump people who are very online too, so it's not like they're
Yes.
not. I don't get. Yeah.
But look,
You know.
really, considering it, it's kind of hard to say that they were any more off than they were in 2016 at this point. The only one
They were a lot more off.
No, the only one they were really, really off, and as far as the state polls, so Florida, they had Biden plus 9. That one's probably the furthest off. Pennsylvania, by the time the dust settles, maybe it'll end up being right on where Biden won by 1.2 points.
Yeah, that's plus 0.9 in Florida.
Yeah, plus 0.9 and yeah, Trump walked away with that one. But
Biden,
yeah, so Wisconsin
6.7.
6.7. It's about 1 point, so it's about 5 points off in Wisconsin. Arizona was a 0.9. Biden's gonna be winning with around there. Michigan, that one was pretty far off too, so it's 4.2, and Michigan's gonna be a squeaker. It's gonna be like 1 point. Pennsylvania, if he does pull off, I mean that one might land.
So
I mean,
guess they
they're
weren't
just all.
that.
I mean, they were off, but like I said, they were not on a lot of these. They were just not telling the story.
I mean,
You know, because look, 6.7 for Biden in Wisconsin. He's gonna win by like 1 point. These are 5 points off. That's massive.
yeah.
You know, Michigan 3 points off at least. Pennsylvania, that one might actually land. That one might actually be decent.
And it's consistent across the board too, because
Right.
it's
Let's just
all
go
the
to Nevada
polling
really
places, and it's been like that the whole cycle.
The Georgia
Georgia
poll.
say?
Oh yeah, let's go to that. I was gonna go to here. So they said Nevada was gonna be 2.4 for Biden. That might shake out. It might be a point off. Georgia.
Do you think Nevada's going to go for Biden? You don't think
No, I think
the losses in the
Here we go.
Latino community will?
I think
add
that's
up?
why he's gonna be. I think that's why he's gonna be like 1 or less than a point up in Nevada. But okay, so Georgia had Trump plus 1 in the RCP average.
So it would be funny if Biden ended up winning it.
Yeah, and it was off in favor of Biden.
Yeah. Biden was complaining about the polls.
Yeah, I mean
Ugh.
the polls
The
are not.
fake news polls. I can't say it in a Biden voice. Come on, Jack. Those polls are wrong. Those polls are cucked. Uncuck the polls, Jack.
Well, I mean, the way we came up with our map, bro, wasn't. anything too complicated. We just took the polls and subtracted a little bit from each of the stupid things.
Yeah, but it's not that it wasn't just the Florida ones though. It was also in Texas. There was big losses, so it's different
Right.
Latino communities across the country consistently losing. And I don't think it's the same reason why he's losing their support in each of those states.
Right.
But
So
I think there's
Texas
different
is
factors.
Yeah. So here, Texas was 1.3 in favor of Trump. He's gonna win by like 5-6 points. Yeah, and then this is the other thing to consider. Arizona Latino population is different from Florida Latino population. But the thing about it is, there was a consistent loss across the board for the entire demographic. I mean, of course, I wouldn't say that any demographic is a monolith, even though we break in a certain party direction every cycle. And there's different things that appeal to each of us. That's why you have to do voter outreach. But by and large, though, there was a consistent loss because there was something out there that Biden didn't do right that affected the entire demographic, regardless of what the values were that people usually go in those communities to vote. So,
The other thing about Ana Navarro's claim too is, where were those anti-socialism voters when Obama won that state twice? Because
Exactly.
they called Obama a socialist a lot.
They did.
Like probably as much or more than they call Obama or than they call Biden one, and Florida went for Obama twice.
So this is a very real scenario. So basically, Trump will probably win Nevada and then win the Electoral College.
Trump has to win all of the outstanding
He has to
states.
win everything now.
All of
so
them.
It looks like when Fulton County's votes get finished counting, what'll happen here is you're gonna end up in a situation at worst here where where you have
Biden just needs
Nevada
one
go
more
red
state.
and Georgia go blue. And then Pennsylvania likely is gonna go blue. So this is probably what we're looking at here. If we're gonna err on the conservative side, probably Arizona's gonna still stay blue as well. So we're gonna end up with like right here, 300-238.
You think that's what's gonna happen?
Yeah, more than likely. If
You're
anything,
gonna give Nevada to Trump?
If any of these states are probably gonna go to Trump, it's gonna either be Nevada or Georgia. So let me move
What
us out the
about
way here.
Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania's gonna flip for Biden.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure that one's gonna flip for Biden. So PA is gonna go to Biden. That's over 270. Well, look.
Did they announce that?
Well,
Has it happened?
well, look. Technically, it could still be the 270 map, where we have this situation go on here. So yeah, it could still be this one. So we could keep this as a possibility. This could also be. I mean, it's that range that we set between about 270 and 300. It's gonna land somewhere in there in favor of Biden.
It looks like he's still down in PA.
Biden is down within like about 4 points in PA, but he's gonna
89%.
narrow it. There's still about 1 million votes out there to go ahead and count.
I don't know if there's 1 million left, is there? It says 89% counted. So, and he's down 165. Let's see.
Oh, they just called it. There we go.
What?
They just called. Like they're saying that they just called it. Let me see if I can go to it. Scene.
What happened?
Trying to find where they've called it. Yeah, I'm trying to get the link. I can't really copy it from the comment section over here.
That's some funny shit.
Can you copy that one, Matt? The link?
It's a joke.
Oh, this dude. That's what it is. You're about trolling me. See what you're doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, bro. I mean, it's gonna end up being a.
You can put that on the screen, though.
What's that one? I don't know which
That's
one.
a pretty
Yeah, I
good
can't
one.
go to. I can't go to the link though, bro.
Oh. Here.
Oh wait. I think let's see if I was able to get it.
Here, I DM'd it to you.
All right, let's go to the link here. Well, they just call it David Lynch. There you go.
Oh man, imagine if David Lynch was president. How sick would that be?
Yeah. But yeah, bro. I mean, this is look for the map once it gets wrapped up. Probably tomorrow. Nevada is gonna be announced. Huh?
You said AP calls him first.
Yeah, AP usually calls them first. So look, this is why the AP map is still looking like this: 264, 214, yeah, it looks like it's gonna land right where we said it's gonna be, between that 270, 299 range. It's not gonna be a big win.
I mean, if he wins the rest of them, it'll be a big win.
Even if he does win all of them, right? I mean, he's gonna win by a few votes across several states.
How come they don't live update?
It's gonna be the
Axios.
Yeah, see, if Biden only takes Nevada, Trump wins the West, it's 270, 268. Yeah, see, so that's exactly our minimal map that we went ahead and put out there before. But I mean, look, even if he wins Georgia too, and PA, and Nevada, and Arizona, it's 306. It's 306. It wasn't this monster blowout that was projected going in based on the polls. You know, it wasn't like this 350 blowout.
Yeah, those polls were nuts, man.
Yeah, so, and then a lot of people that base their takes on that, yeah, I mean, it didn't come out looking too great for them. But the most likely scenario here, yeah, it's probably same margin as 2016, but just in the inverse, and Biden would have won the popular vote more than likely. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at a situation where it's gonna be something like that, 270, 280, 290, but we'll know more soon, Matt.
Do you think that Trump is trying to buy off Nevada or something?
I don't know what his plan is to do.
I don't know if it's the governor.
He's gonna try. I mean, his instinct is to sue to try to get his way, but
do you think that he's like, come on, you like to play games, you like to gamble in Nevada. Why don't you gamble on your future? Something like that.
I mean, what do you think is? Oh, you wanted to go to that prayer thing, right?
No, I don't want to go to that.
Are you sure you don't want to go to the prayer thing? Let's go to the prayer thing.
What?
Let's do this.
Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord says it is done. The Lord says it is done.
All right, sorry about that.
I'm
about done.
I'm convinced.
I'm about done. Yeah.
I think I believe her. Did they stop counting in Atlanta, or are they going to take the break off? Take the night off?
I think we're expecting them to come out with the result tonight, right? So.
Yeah, like if I was them, I'd keep counting. But I
yeah,
wonder
I mean,
if
why
Trump
the hell
got
wouldn't
him
you?
to stop.
You know, and I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why Nevada's taking an extra day to just report what we all need to know by now. You know, so.
What's up with Arizona? Biden's pulling ahead in Arizona too, huh?
Biden,
Good.
yeah, no, he's already ahead. Remember, that was the one that they declared for. But let's see, we can go to Cash had a pretty good take on that pastor over here. Let's see if I can go to. Here we go. Yeah. Them hand jobs look painful. Yeah. Here we go.
She's not bad though.
Oh, here we go. Here's the explanation for Nevada. I think that's a pretty good They can only count to 21. They need a lot of people to count the ballots.
What?
It's a blackjack joke, bro.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Well.
Yes. So
What's
again,
up with North Carolina?
North Carolina. Yeah, North Carolina is that's probably gonna end up going for Trump at the end of the day. It's close, but yeah. Let's see. Oh, there's a march in Portland. I mean, that's not really associated with. I mean, that's just standard stuff right now. But
A lot of cities have marches like.
yeah, I mean, they're all still going at it. So, I mean, do you expect any of the civil unrest to get rectified at all because of Biden?
No, they're gonna be so mad. These people, like, I don't know if they're gonna go. Like, they're probably not gonna like get in the street. They're probably just gonna do like acts of terrorism, like in the future or something.
So you're anticipating some kind of retaliation.
Yeah, I mean, just an increase in the kind of stuff that we've been seeing lately. The the reactionary violence. Like, there's going to be, more like QAnon psychos. Like, we have the two QAnon Congress people now. Like, that stuff's going to ramp up. And then these, like, sort of like white separatist groups. Like, remember how bad they were under Obama, and Trump has just given them permission to like come out in the open about it, so they're not shy about it anymore. They're gonna start shit, man. Like, in their worldview, it's like that's like virtuous, right? Like, I don't know if they believe it, because some of the stuff they believe is so insane, like the stuff they say about like, Joe Biden's going to come for your children, and he's going to outlaw church, and he's going to make everybody have abortions, and just all this crazy stuff.
Yeah, speaking of which, did you see what Louisiana did, removing or saying that abortion is not a constitutional right?
Well, that was a referendum, right?
Yeah, it was some shit like that.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
though.
it doesn't do it. It's just like a symbolic thing to throw out there. But let me pull this one up from New York. Arrested protesters on Leroy and 7th chant from inside a prison van.
Oh, yeah.
No KKK, no fascist USA! No KKK, no fascist USA! No KKK, no fascist USA!
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be... I think the civil unrest that's going to happen, it's going to go right in line with what's already going down in the streets. There's going to be some kind of clashes out there that we've along the lines of what we've seen. I would anticipate there to be something that people got to be careful about if they're going to.
I don't think they're going to they're not going to like I said, they need to overturn the results in all those states.
Right, and there's not a lot they can do in that sense.
Storm the state house
in a bunch of states.
Need to storm. Yeah. I don't know if they'd be able to coordinate that, and if they did, it would be way too chaotic for anybody to kind of officially recognize it if they managed to stop those votes. Like, remember what we did in Bolivia last year, man? It was just a delay in counting, right? And it was a delay in reporting the unofficial results was enough for them to call a coup, right? And bring in get the army to go take over the Capitol. So any kind of voting like that would be.
See, I will say that it'll be interesting to see where the college vote ended up geographically, where there are 1 million Biden votes jammed into the Northeast and California that would have been, say, in North Carolina, Florida, or wherever they have been on campus.
That's a good point too. That's a really good point. But I think a lot of college kids vote absentee.
Right.
From their hometown, if they vote at all.
Yeah.
But that's a very interesting point that a lot of those people could have been spread out.
No, they could have. But
we definitely, like you said, in North Carolina, that's a big one. Probably a bunch in Georgia too. Like Georgia Tech and UGA.
Yeah.
couple other schools. Pennsylvania.
See, could the other
State
way could be
college.
the other way too. Yeah. I mean, for the future elections, all right. So here's the other thing about it. Like, do you think Biden's gonna make it to a second term?
I
Do you-
mean, I think if he doesn't, like, they'll keep weekend at Bernie'sing him, and they might run him again for a second term because I don't think, Kamala just doesn't really connect with voters. Maybe
No.
she'll do a good job as VP, but like after seeing Joe Biden, it's hard to overstate how poor of a candidate he is. Right? He is so bad at everything. There's nothing compelling about him. He's got a bad track record. He's got a bad policy agenda. He's got a terrible appearance, speaking ability. He's got, the one thing, it's like he does kind of have some sort of, he's charming to some people, right? He does kind of have that, but he's got nothing, no speaking ability. He's like old and not very attractive. Like he's, got all of this scandal plaguing him.
That's true.
He's a terrible candidate, right? He's a very poor candidate. And I think the fact that they were able to get him across the finish line, if they are, it strictly speaks about how bad Trump is, right?
Yes.
Even though they had this record turnout and they had a shitload on both sides, and they had tons of Republicans come out, like Biden was able to get enough people to vote for him just because of how bad Trump was. It had nothing to do with him as a candidate. So it'd be interesting to see if somebody like Kamala, who got 5% of the vote in the primaries, the polling, wasn't able to do anything even in her home state, if she would have the same sort of effect running against Tom Cotton or Tucker Carlson or whoever.
Yeah, whoever they roll out.
She would probably,
Yeah, I have a feeling.
I think I personally would rather vote for her, right? If I was just a normie random person, just because she can talk.
Right.
Right. So like even if she was like rub me the wrong way, which is what people said about Hillary, I would still prefer...
I mean, they say the same thing about Biden, just, physically.
But like, I don't think Biden has that kind of reaction. I don't think people have like a visceral anti-Biden reaction like some people do to Hillary and Kamala.
No, that's
right?
true.
And I think there's some people who are sexist, but I think mostly it's just that they're not something unpleasant about them, right? Like they don't, you don't connect with them on a human level, right? And I think Biden kind of
Cryo Bernie and running as an independent. Well, okay, so if that's the case, and I think everybody up in the chat is from what I've read right now, from what you're telling me, and the way I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, except I'm gonna take it a little step further. I think Biden's gonna die, like 3 years in, at most.
Well, like I said, that's what I was getting to. If he has health problems, where he can't physically perform it, then they'll have to run somebody else. But if he just continues getting more dementia ridden, I don't see why they wouldn't run him again. Like they would say, the soul of the nation's on the line. Like
they'll turn the next one into a boogeyman. I mean, there's also a chance that Donald Trump just says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna run again against this dude."
Yeah, I don't think he would do that.
He can. He can pull a Grover Cleveland.
No, he can. I don't think he would though. Like I think.
Do you think that if he ran again, he won't be able to stampede through the damn Republican field again?
No, I think they'd make it worth his while to not run again.
Okay.
I think they would, give him, an ambassadorship or something like that. They would do something, give him like a business deal, where he was making a shitload of money, being famous, right? Like doing what he's doing now.
Right.
Like that's the thing. It's like he would be able, like, I guess he loves the power, but like he could continue doing exactly what he does now and not be the president and make a lot of money somehow, a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
So like he's going to be fine, right?
So the other big story from the night, before we wrap up, I did want to go into it because this was a bit of good news. Let's see, we had this situation going on all over the country. Legalize recreational marijuana in Arizona. In Oregon, all drugs are decriminalized now. All drugs.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's
move
a
there.
freaking free for all. They legalize magic mushrooms in D.C. and in Oregon, so those are completely legalized, not just decriminalized. And
Yeah.
in Mississippi, they legalize marijuana recreationally.
They're probably gonna overturn that DC one.
You think
Like they
so?
do everything good in DC. I mean, maybe. I don't think they want people wandering around DC on shrooms, though. Right? I mean, maybe they would make it like a tourist thing, and they would keep it like one place, where you could get them. But I don't think they want to make them, become like a shrooms town. Like,
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
mean,
kind of
who
funny,
knows?
though.
Who knows?
That would
I
be
still think
fitting.
I still think it's great news. Let's see. Biden is down 150K in PA with 90% reporting.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't think he's gonna win PA.
yeah, we didn't think he was gonna win PA either. I mean, just if we let me see if we could pop back to our map really fast before I have one more thing to cover, and we can go ahead and wrap this baby up. Yeah, on our map we didn't have him winning PA. So let's see where we can go to it. Crap, I should bookmark this shit. All right, so yeah, so this is the one we're looking at here. This is a situation that we think is probably going to be the most likely at this point, where Nevada just flips for Biden. Georgia might still on top of that, but
Yeah, Georgia I think is good though.
Georgia
I
might
mean,
actually flip because Fulton County is what we're
yeah,
waiting
if
on,
I'm
and
doing
it's a
that
very
math
short.
right.
Yeah. So if anything, it's gonna come down to either Nevada or Georgia. I would think a more outside shot at PA, but let's
Damn,
see. The
there's
only thing I can
Philadelphia
have.
only has.
Let's see. Let me
There's
go
a lot
to
of votes left in the city. Like
yeah.
70, only
All the
70% are in Philadelphia County.
right. So that 30%
and
is gonna go towards overtaking that 150K. It might still not be enough. It probably might. It probably won't be. If it is, it's by a very very slim margin. But
it looks like he's down
yeah,
165K
Donald Trump
on the New
leads
York
by
Times one.
0.5. Let me see if I can go to the CBS one, because what it's gonna say on there is that 100% of the vote is in on the AP, but it's not true. So
Donald Trump won Erie. He did all those rallies in Erie. Let's see. Yeah, I wonder if where the hell is Penn State? It's Beaver County, right?
Yeah, that one doesn't work. Actually, these votes are going 80-20 to Biden, and meaning for every 100K counted, Biden nets 60. That means 600 votes, 600,000 left. Yeah, so that's why. I mean, it's a little further apart, but it could still happen.
So yeah, so he can pick up 360K at that scale,
Right.
If he gains 60 per 100K and there's 6 left, so he would gain 360K. So that would put him over the top if it holds the whole way. And then I think Georgia, it's even closer, right? He's even has to pick up less per 100K, but there's less left in Georgia too.
Yes.
Yeah, like I definitely think it looks good for Shifty Jack. We need to come up with a better nickname for
yeah,
him.
then Sleepy Joe. Yeah, I think that
Yeah,
that just
Joe's
kind of makes me.
terrible.
Yeah, that just kind of makes me feel bad for him now.
Come on, Jack. I slept the socialist. I slept with the socialist. Come on, Jack.
Let's see this.
I made that blood sacrifice to Moloch. I gave him his firstborn son. I'm all in for the Dark One.
Let's see.
Yeah.
District 10. Doesn't say the freaking district on here. Trying to find.
Michigan is done. They called that.
Yeah, Michigan is called by most of these outlets already.
For Robinette.
Yeah. So that is about wrapped. But I mean, as far as Fulton, that how much did you get a percent over there, Matt?
Where was it? It looks like 95% in Georgia from the New York Times page.
From the New York Times page, you got 95. Yeah.
And then he's up by Trump is up by looks like 19,000. No, 23,000.
Yeah.
And DeKalb has 96%, Cobb has 96%, Douglas has 93, Fulton 96, Clayton 84, Henry 98.
So let me see here.
Let's see.
So
Down in Savannah,
Fulton County is 96%, 96% for Cobb,
87%
97
in Chatham County, where Savannah is.
Rockandale.
86% Richmond County. Yeah, I mean, looks like there's some blue counties left.
Yeah, there's a few of them, but I mean we're talking about like like cumulatively, altogether.
Cumulatively?
Yeah, cumulatively. Yeah, there's small fractions of percent in heavy Biden counties, and they're gonna go 70-80% to Biden. So is that enough to make up about 20,000 votes? I think it probably is.
Yeah,
So
he's at 72 to 26.
yeah, see,
in Fulton County.
Chatham County over here, it's 87% still left.
He's
So
almost 3-1 in Fulton County, and there's 4% left. So say he gets 3 out of that 4%.
yeah, exactly.
That would be enough to put him over.
Right, and like here we go, Stewart County, maybe there's some that be picked up in there too. Hancock, yeah. See, so the NYT, they have their little needle pointed towards Biden as of right now. But
the thing that makes me think he's going to take Georgia is that Trump is suing to try to stop the count.
Yeah.
So like when Trump files a lawsuit, that's the giveaway that he's behind. Like if he thinks he's ahead, he wants the count to continue. So the fact that he's signaling that he wants it to stop is kind of the giveaway there.
Yeah, and that's the same thing he's trying to do in the other states that the Michigan that he already lost. There was actually a video, I think, of Giuliani finding out that Fox just called Michigan for
Really?
Biden. Yeah,
Let's
let me see if I could go to it before. Let's see. Giuliani and where is this one? All right, so he was on Fox when this happened.
We have no idea if they're signed, if they're postmarked properly, if it isn't just the same person who submitted 100,000 ballots, and they all got counted. This is the way they intend to win. Now I'm informed by former Congressman Sweeney, who's been...
We are continuing to monitor Rudy Giuliani. You might have noticed something happened to the electoral vote count for Joe Biden. Our decision desk has taken a look at Michigan and concluded Joe Biden has won Michigan and gets the 16 electoral votes from Michigan. That puts him now 6 electoral votes from the presidency of the United States. Nevada could do it. Those electoral votes are still out there. When you know there's 6 electoral votes there. If he were to take that state, he would be at 270, and he would be on his way to the White House. Now, back to the legal challenges being mounted as
a former congressman to win.
So
now I'm informed by...
Monitor Rudy Giuliani. You might have... We are continuing to monitor Rudy Giuliani. You might have noticed something happened.
There we go. That's what I wanted to freeze frame it on. Look at his face, bro. Yeah, he's not
What is he? Yeah, I want to see what he is basing his lawsuits on.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, the shit that he's saying there, it's nothing but a bunch of crap anyway.
well, I wonder if he would concede while there were still lawsuits pending.
I
What
don't
do you
think he's
think?
ever gonna concede. I don't know why why we think that he's gonna go up there and make a
If he
concession
loses
speech.
all those remaining states and he's down like 50 votes, like electoral votes, you don't think he'll concede?
I don't think he's gonna concede. I don't think he's gonna go on there and say anything about thank you to my supporters and do one of those keep your head up kind of rally speeches that we gave it our best shot thing. I
like
don't
I
think
said
he's gonna
last
do
night-
that. I don't think he's gonna call Joe Biden to congratulate him.
What I think will happen though is he will they'll negotiate with him, right? They'll tell him, look, if you leave now, we'll let you keep the money and we won't press charges or whatever.
Or
and
for
I think,
exchange leaving the White House for a pardon.
I don't think they'd pardon him. They just would say we won't press charges.
That was the
we'll
other
make the
thing,
case
that-
in New York go away.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Do you think that they are going to pursue him for anything? He's an unindicted co-conspirator in a couple of cases, right? And then the New York State has a case against him. I mean,
Yeah.
he was untouchable up until this point where he would be out of office. So, I mean, do you see anything happening on that front?
Yeah. Like I said, I think it depends, right? I think if they are willing to, like, if he's willing to drag this out and say, like I said, he's going to file all these lawsuits, if they're still pending in court, but it's clear from the voting that he's lost, that's the time when that negotiation would take place. And I think he would, Biden would be able to arrange a situation where, the case in New York went away. I don't think they'd pardon him, though, because that would kind of be giving him a free pass to, like, get in more
Right.
dirt,
Yeah.
So he would have to, stay true to his bargain.
Yeah. So let's see. This is out in Fulton. I just thought this was a funny video.
They don't want that precedent anyway, man, because then they have to do.
Yeah.
It's very unsanitary. I could give a fuck about a mask right now. Are we live? Yes, guys, we're putting here live, guys, downtown Detroit right now, guys. Behind me here, you have a bunch of fucking bullshit-ass Trump supporters right here, guys. I'm here for fucking Biden. Come here, look at this shit. Go over here, zoom in over here. Go, you take your ass over. Come on. Get over here. See the fucking. Listen, we are here to ensure power for black people. Black people forever!
Blacks
I said
rule.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! All Black Lives Matter! Black Lives fucking matter, not Saturday, guys. We're going to hear live, guys, on Detroit's Northwest East Side, guys. Live, guys.
What you saying? All lives matter?
Yeah.
It's very
Douchebag.
Yeah, that was still pretty funny. Yeah, bro. But
that's weak.
Yeah, we'll keep everybody updated on the Twitter feed. We're about to sign off. But yeah, we gotta thank everybody for joining up on the stream. Think if you're new to on here, then yeah, go ahead, follow us. We appreciate that. We appreciate you following us, and we will be back on tomorrow, right, Matt?
Yeah, man.
All right, and
Base night show.
yeah, we go with our night
Base
show.
night show.
We stream either at 11 Eastern or just about midnight Eastern. Either one of those times you'll catch us on here.
You try to go around 10 Eastern. but
Yeah, for sure. We'll somewhere around there. We'll keep a consistent schedule.
I mean, not 10. I'm sorry, 10 Central.
10
yeah.
Central,
11
right.
Eastern.
And yeah, other than that, then you'll find us up on our feed. We'll keep everybody up to date from there. That's at unelectable A on Twitter. And yeah, we'll see how this stuff plays out in the next couple days.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's get used to President Biden.
All right, we're out.
Later.